Awakening the Third Eye. Chapter number 17. Protection. Protection Level 1, Reinforcing the structure. Simple things first. Knowing how to preserve your energies and protect yourself from negative influences is certainly an important chapter. But before going into techniques and into esoteric anatomy, let us dwell on a few basic facts. The healthier and more balanced you are, the more protected you are. This is simple, but nevertheless very true. So the first recommendations for protecting yourself will be related to a healthy lifestyle. You would be quite misled if you overlook them, because they sound so unmetaphysical. Without this healthy lifestyle to sustain your foundations, other methods of protection will not be very efficient, and anyway your general process of development will be drastically slowed down. Let us review this general advice. Get enough sleep and rest. It is when you are tired that you tend to catch negative energies. In a state of fatigue, your energy potential is low, you are empty, and this emptiness creates a favorable field for the penetration of all sorts of undesirable energies. In traditional Chinese medicine, lack of sleep is said to exhaust and damage the kidney. Much more than a simple filter, the kidney is seen in acupuncture as the reservoir of the deepest vitality, called the Jing, or quintessence of Qi. The Qi is the etheric, or life force. The Jing is the quintessence of the life force, similar to the Oghas of the Indian tradition and close to the quintessence sought by the alchemists. When your Jing, or quintessence, is strong, you don't have to worry too much about preserving your energies. Of course, you should always take precautions, follow the techniques, etc. Yet if for some reason you were to catch a negative energy, your general vitality would be such that it would not be too difficult to get rid of it, either on your own or with the help of an expert. But if your Jing quintessence is weak or exhausted, not only will you catch negative energy after negative energy, but their removal will not be simple. So if you want to undergo a process of esoteric development, the first recommendation is to have a good routine allowing enough sleep and rest. If you implement our techniques of night practice, it is unlikely you will have any difficulty falling asleep. By the way, have you ever heard of an animal going a whole day without a period of rest? Whenever you can, don't hesitate to do a short night practice during the day too, for instance after arriving home from work. The right diet. I won't insist on factors such as the superiority of organically grown products, etc. They are important, and you don't need Spanish pesetas to find abundant literature on the subject. I will just attract your attention to a few points. Beware of unbalanced diets, such as only raw vegetables or nothing other than brown rice for weeks. For example, there is a way of misunderstanding macrobiotics that can lead to a very unbalanced intake with catastrophic consequences. When continued over a long period of time, a diet that does not give you what your body needs leaves you weak and exposed to negative energies and influences. A regular routine of meal times has an unexpectedly strong effect in reinforcing your astral body and your general vitality. Your state of awareness and focus in the eye while eating may greatly enhance the spiritual value of your meal and your opening of perception. Eating with perception is a completely different experience. Some foods have an action that stimulates subtle perception. Raw carrots, for example, not so much cooked ones. Others such as beetroot have the power to stimulate the action of the ego on the physical body. Some spices have traditionally been used for protection, such as garlic. The action of all of these will be greatly enhanced if you tune into their energy. Use your perception to discover what is good for what. Does one have to be vegetarian to become enlightened and clairvoyant? Certainly not. Tibetan masters eat meat. There was no way to grow crops on the mountains of Tibet. However, most Westerners do consume too much meat. If you eat meat, it is preferable to have it for lunch rather than dinner to secure a better quality of psychic sleep. The main advice is, follow your sensitivity rather than any dogma. Dogma is certainly not what is lacking in the field of nutrition. If you listen to your body, and if you watch the results of different foods on your state of consciousness, you will learn to discern what should be favored or avoided. As you proceed on the path of opening, your taste will change by itself. Among other things, it is very likely that you will naturally decrease your consumption of meat. The right physical exercise. Techniques such as Hatha Yoga, for instance, go very well with an inner path. So do certain forms of martial arts, such as Aikido. People who have gained some mastery in a martial art usually do not have much difficulty protecting themselves when they undergo psychic training. Gardening or a bit of hard work on the land are wonderful activities for psychics. The more your feet are grounded in the earth, the more safely your head can wander in the stars. Be happy. Sadness and depression tend to make you empty and weak. A joyful mood is already a form of protection in itself. Cultivate laughter, and if you are a therapist, make your patients laugh. If your spiritual path does not lead to joy, then change your spiritual path. Alcohol and spiritual work, a dangerous mixture. I would never advise anybody to smoke, but it is a fact that one can go quite a long way spiritually and still be addicted to cigarettes. Tobacco generates negative vibrations, but its action is not lethal to spiritual life. Alcohol, on the other hand, can very quickly lead to disaster if one is learning to explore non-physical worlds. Alcohol automatically connects you with areas of the lower astral that are full of noxious entities. Therefore, alcohol should be avoided at any cost as soon as one starts to work on the third eye. Tranquilizers, neuroleptics and other psychiatric drugs disconnect you from higher worlds and negate the action of the work of opening. Hard drugs, such as heroin, are totally incompatible with inner work, their effect being similar to alcohol but much worse. Trying to open perception while living in the same house as a heroin addict is like smoking cigars inside a petrol refinery, dangerous. What about other drugs? I could tell you the usual things, they are never necessary. They create scars and introduce toxins in the etheric and the astral, not only in the physical. If some can't force an opening of perception, this opening is transient, uncontrolled, completely unprotected, and most often twisted. Even marijuana, when taken regularly, tends to make your astral body dull and unresponsive. And so on, all sorts of facts that you have probably heard before. However, it seems to me that the real answer to the question of drugs is that, by developing your subtle bodies, you will gain the capacity to be intoxicated without the need for any substance. A true seer is somebody who is permanently intoxicated with what he or she receives from the universe and beyond. You would be quite misled to believe that this is just an image and that it should not be taken too literally. Just wait till you drink your first drop of the nectar of immortality. It will leave you laughing and rolling on the floor for half an hour. Truly. And it is excellent for your health. Tune in above the head and you can be instantly stoned, but not dull. Open your heart, and you have ecstasy. The company of angels bestows secondary benefits much sweeter than chocolate. Reach the spirit of life, the glorious transformed etheric body, and you will have the absolute heroine. On a simple level, several techniques of this book, when practiced, not even mastered, just practiced, generate an instant flow of endorphins. It is one of the dramas of the men and women of our civilization to mistake drug ingestion for intoxication, and more generally to search outside for what is already waiting for them inside. Protection Level 2. Correct management of energies. Choose your colors, wear the right clothes, find out which colors suit and nourish your energy. If a surface appears white, it is because it does not keep any color vibration at all, but reflects all of them. So the reason white stands for purity can be easily understood. White is the reflector par excellence. It sends everything back, it does not retain anything. And this does not only apply to colors, but to vibrations in general. White is the symbol of what remains untouched by external influences. Consequently, if you are in a context where you really need protection, there is no better color to wear than white. It is not by chance that in hospitals the medical staff wear white, or that babies are traditionally clothed in white. On the other hand, if a surface appears black, it is because it reflects none of the color vibrations. Black retains everything, it is an absorbing principle. Hence black is the most absurd color for funerals, it attracts all sorts of dark moods, energies and influences just when you need extra protection. In certain contexts, black garments can literally act as a vacuum cleaner for bad vibrations. Therefore, whenever you practice massage or any form of therapy, whenever you deal with sick people or go to doubtful places, black should be avoided. The same applies when your vitality is low, when you are tired or depressed. The more you become sensitive to energies, the more you should have a really good reason for wearing black. These considerations do not only apply to clothes, but also to your walls. Energy-wise, dark hues make it difficult to keep a room clean. Find your spot. The knowledge of earth lines will be a great help in protecting yourself. Sitting relying on an earth line makes you vulnerable to undesirable influences. On the other hand, if you can find an energy well in the room where you conduct your activities and sit there, a great deal of the protection business is achieved naturally. If you are a therapist, be very careful of the quality of the room where you are working. It is usually in bad places that big problems arise. How to purify a room. If the place has had awful vibrations ever since it was built, my advice is to give up. Find another place. A certain percentage of houses on the market are unfit for human habitation, and that is the architect's fault, not yours. Often just by building the house a few meters away, all the problems could have been avoided. But once the house is in the wrong place, there is not much you can do. Now, what if a room once had a reasonably good atmosphere, and suddenly its vibrations were spoiled? Here are a few suggestions to restore the quality of energy. Burn incense and candles intensively on the crossings of the earth lines for a few days. Traditionally, the Chinese used to put bags of rock salt in the corners of the room and to beat the walls, as if to erase their memory. This can easily be done with a large towel. Another trick is to use a heater and make the room as warm and then as cold as possible, alternating every few hours. This is a process similar to the one for purifying your hands, in which you use hot and cold water alternately. If none of this works, it is likely that your room has caught an entity, meaning an undesirable non-physical presence, like a parasite. Then it is better to seek recourse to an experienced clearer. When you move into a new house, it is always a good idea to paint the walls, getting rid of old wallpaper, and to implement some of the above-mentioned measures to get rid of your predecessor's vibrations. Work in harmony with the moon cycle. Energy varies according to a number of cycles. The most obvious is the cycle of the moon. By developing your sensitivity, it will become clear to you that your energy feels different around the new moon and around the full moon. Around the new moon, everything becomes internalized and quiet. It is the time of the deepest withdrawal. Around the full moon there is a kind of explosion of the energy. The fairies become manic, and all the little elemental beings in nature are fully active. There are variations from one moon cycle to another, depending on other factors, but a few basic recommendations can be given. The day of the full moon is a very good day to meditate, to tune into your guides, to have spiritual realizations, but it is a bad day for sex. Moreover, in acupuncture it is said that one should not use any needles on the day of the full moon, nor get involved in any intense manipulation of energy, such as surgery or going to the dentist, otherwise the body will be harmed. On that day all energies are intensely externalized, and therefore one should remain gentle and contained to avoid energy leakages. Hyperactivity or trauma could exhaust your pool of deep energies. Frequent use of running water. In section 4.12 we described an important technique to get rid of negative energies by washing your hands in a flow of running water. Use it. As soon as you feel a wrong energy in your hands, don't hesitate to clear it with water. If you systematically do so, you will develop a greater sensitivity, and you will become aware of any negative energy as soon as it gets attached to you, which will allow you to take measures to remove it before it can penetrate in depth. As you develop your awareness of energies, an essential function arises in the etheric body, excretion. Presently, most people are hardly aware of the movements inside their etheric and are unable to expel an energy at will. Yet it is crucial to develop this ability, especially, but not only, if you are a healer or therapist of any kind. Releasing energies into the elements. Become motionless and aware of the vibration in the eye. Breathe with the throat friction and build up the vibration for 1 or 2 minutes. Then become aware of the vibration all over your body and connect it with your eye. Use the throat friction to amplify the perception of the vibration throughout the body. In other words, become aware of your etheric body as a whole. Put your hands and forearms under running water while remaining aware of the vibration all over your etheric body. At the same time, open the mouth and exhale with a vigorous throat friction and with intention. Release as much negative energy as you can into the flow of running water. Repeat the process of etheric excretion, this time using the flame of a candle instead of running water. Sit in front of a candle flame. Build up the vibration in the eye. Become aware of the whole layer of vibration. Use the throat friction to enhance the vibration in the etheric layer and its connection with the eye. Then place your hands on each side of the flame. Tune into the fire. The same way as a descending flow of energy is associated with the running water, an ascending flow can be perceived around the flame. Tune into this flow. While remaining aware of your etheric vibration, keep the mouth wide open, exhale with a loud throat friction, and with intention. Project any negative energy into the ascending flow. Feel your etheric and release all you want to get rid of into the flow. Go on for a few seconds, up to 1 minute. Tips: whenever you are close to a bonfire, do not miss the opportunity to implement this technique. A big fire generates an energy that is far superior to that of a candle, making it possible to reach a high level of purification. The same technique may be applied to releasing energies into the wind and into the earth. When angry or agitated, you will benefit from releasing your fire and your wind into the earth. Sit on the ground, it has to be soil, not concrete. Tune into the presence of the earth. Feel your etheric vibration. Put your palms flat on the ground. Open the mouth. Pretend you are a dragon and exhale with a loud friction and with intention. Release. With the earth element, you will need more time than with the fire, at least a few minutes. This is the end of chapter 17 of Awakening the Third Eye by Samuel Sagan, MD. Break time equals 2000 milliseconds. Please listen to this recording minimum 3 times for better and long-term results. If you like this recording, please comment and share it with your friends and loved ones. Stay tuned for listening more books like this. Thank you and good luck.